If you want to improve your spoken English, this is the video for you. In this video, I'm going to give you 8 things to do to improve your English speaking at home alone. Hi, I'm Charlie from Organic English. I'm here to help you become more fluent in English. Now, if you want to improve your spoken English, this video is for you. I totally understand that not everybody can get out and find a language exchange partner or join an English conversation group. Maybe you work from home, maybe you're taking care of young kids. Maybe your job makes you work antisocial hours. Maybe you live in an area where there are no other English speakers. But you still have this desire to improve your spoken English. So, what can we do? Give me some concrete steps, Charlie, I hear you say. Give me those 8 tips. Now, before we go any further, a warning, these are not hacks, they're not shortcuts. To make progress in English, you need to do the work. So let's break this down into input and output. Output is obviously our ultimate goal because we're talking about how to improve our speaking. To speak better, we need more vocabulary. That's obvious, right? We need the words to be able to make sentences. So in the first section, that's what we're going to do. We're going to focus not on grammar, we're going to focus on vocabulary. We're going to focus on becoming more fluent. We're aiming for fluency, not accuracy. This might mean that your sentences won't be grammatically perfect, but that's okay. If you focus on speaking fluently instead of accurately at first, you'll still be understood and you'll sound better. Your grammar will become better with time and practice. Tip number 1, listen. How do we build that vocabulary? We build it by, first of all, listening. Listen to stuff, listen to podcasts, watch movies, watch TV series, whatever you want, as long as it's in English. You can use the captions and the subtitles if you need them. But keep in mind, they aren't always accurate, as many of them are made by artificial intelligence. Now, listening is a skill. At this stage, we need to listen consciously. We're paying attention to what we're hearing. What are we listening for? We're listening for individual words, of course, but we're also paying close attention to chunks of language. That's language that native speakers use all the time. Groups of words, such as phrasal verbs, idioms, fixed phrases, collocations. Adult native speakers have hundreds, even thousands of these chunks of language, these groups of words that very often go together. We use these subconsciously over and over. We just slip them into our speech without thinking. We're also paying close attention to the rhythm of the speech and the intonation. Rhythm is about how we use stressed and unstressed words in sentences. Sentences have strong beats, the stressed words, and weak beats, the unstressed words. Intonation is the way the pitch of a speaker's voice goes up or down as they speak. Now in English, we use stresses in words and sentences. So when we speak, we'll need to stress or emphasize certain words and syllables or sounds to give them different meanings. Here's an example of how the meaning or the nuance of a sentence can change by stressing different words in the sentence.
Nobody was listening to me.
I was listening.
What were you doing?
I was listening.
Why weren't you listening?
I was listening. Now listen to where native speakers place the emphasis when they speak. Try to repeat it the same way to improve your English stress in your own speech. This will help you understand others better. This will also help others understand you better. Placing the stress on the wrong syllable could completely change the meaning of the word too. For example, in American English, the word address isn't the same as the word address. Address refers to a physical location where someone lives. Hey, what's your address? Address means to formally speak to a group of people. Tip 2, reading. Now, another really effective way to build vocabulary is to read. This might be a more effective way of building vocabulary than just watching and listening, because you actually see the words. You see the sentences, you see the grammar constructions in front of your eyes. And if there's something you don't recognize, something you've come across for the first time, something you don't understand, you can highlight it, you can copy it down, you can look it up. Again, we're paying particular attention to chunks of language, like I mentioned before. That's groups of words, phrases, idioms, collocations, phrasal verbs. Find books, articles, websites, blogs that are relatively easy to read. Don't make it too hard for yourself. Otherwise, you'll be looking things up all the time and you won't actually get much reading done. An amazing bonus will be if you could listen to the audiobook version of a book and read the hard copy at the same time. You'll see the language and you'll hear it read by a native speaker. Now, of course, it won't be natural speech. It's very controlled, but you'll hear how words and phrases are pronounced. This is an important point. Make sure you're using an English to English dictionary to look things up. Okay? Why? Looking things up in an English to English dictionary will have a couple of benefits. First, we are being exposed to more English, so more vocabulary, more phrases. And secondly, we are avoiding translating in our heads. The less we depend on translating, the more we can encourage our brains to think in English. So that's point 3. Think in English. Now, if you think in your first language and then try to speak English, you'll always have to translate between languages. Translating is not easy, and it isn't quick. It leads to hesitation, and some phrases and some words will come out wrong because they don't have a direct translation. So this brings us onto the output part. Now, we're building our vocabulary, acquiring some grammar at the same time. So let's put it to use by speaking. Point 4. Change your inner monologue to English. So that's that voice in your head. For example, you're at the store. Try and think about what you need to buy in English and speak to yourself in English in your head. What am I eating tonight? I need to buy some pasta and some chicken and some broccoli. Oh, and I need milk for my cereal tomorrow morning. And so on. When you're thinking about your day, when you're cooking and following a recipe, try and switch the thoughts in your head into English rather than your first language. Point 5. Narrate your world. So this is an extension of point 4, thinking in English. Here you're actually vocalizing what you think and see. For example, if you're walking to the grocery store or commuting to work, try and describe what you see. Try out the vocabulary and the phrases that you're picking up day to day. Yeah, I know. Speaking to yourself is the first sign of madness. But the more you practice, the easier it'll be to have a conversation with real people. This also reinforces the habit of thinking in English. For the next 2 points, make sure you record yourself as much as possible. Record yourself speaking English. You can check how you sound, you can keep the recording and check your progress. We all have an app on our phone, right? Okay, so point 6. Read out loud. You're reading books, you're reading websites, you're reading blogs. Find a passage you like, find a paragraph you like, find a section of dialogue that you like, and read it out loud. Practice forming the words. Practice saying the phrases, the chunks of language. Again, if you can also listen to the piece, for example, if you have the audiobook version of the book you're reading, you can listen as you read. And that'll give you an idea of the pronunciation, the intonation, and the rhythm. You can also check the pronunciation of words and phrases on Google or 4of0.com. Point 7. Imitate. While you're watching your favorite TV show, your movie, your YouTube channel, if there's a scene you like, listen to a couple of times. Keep it short, maybe 1 minute at the most. Again, pay attention to the intonation, the pauses, the rhythm of the speaker, and try to mimic, try to recreate that as accurately as possible. This is not repetition. We're not just repeating, we are mimicking, okay? You can rewind the scene, listen to the recording of your version, and you can compare the two. When you're speaking, it's also important to become more aware of what your mouth, your jaw, and your tongue are doing when you're forming these English words. Watch people speaking. Take note of their mouth shape. Look at yourself in the mirror and become aware of what your mouth is doing. Final point, point 8. A super fun thing to do is to sing along to songs. Find your favorite singer or group on YouTube or Spotify, whatever service you like to use. Listen to the song a few times, follow along with the lyrics, and sing along. Let rip, have fun. Everybody loves karaoke, right? Now, the most important thing with any learning process is to do it regularly. Make it a habit. A little each day is better than a lot on just one day. Be consistent to make progress. So, 8 tips to help you practice speaking English when you are at home alone. Let's recap those 8 tips. Firstly, listen. Listen to as much material as you can. It's important that it's mindful listening. Make sure you are listening with a purpose. Number 2 was reading. Again, mindfully, consciously, taking notes, looking things up. If you can combine the two, by, for example, listening to the audiobook version of a book while you're reading, that's a great bonus. Number 3, think in English. Reduce your dependence on translating between your language, your first language, and English. Point 4, change your inner monologue to English. So start speaking to yourself in your head in English. Point number 5 is an extension of this. Narrate your world. Speak out loud what you're seeing and thinking. Number 6, read out loud. Number 7, imitate what you're seeing, what you're hearing. And number 8, sing along. So I hope you'll start using some of these tips today. Don't forget, you can also go to organicenglish.club, where there's plenty of other material to help you become more fluent in English. While you're there, please also subscribe to my newsletter. Subscribers will get cheat sheets, mini lessons, and video updates direct to their inbox. Thanks very much for watching. Now go out and practice your English, even if you're alone.